Hi everybody, I'm Jim. This is Stone Tripping. Welcome back. I want to do a part 2 Abacab video. In part 1, I did a digital shootout of 3 different CD versions of this album. And it was the West German Target CD from the 1980s versus the Definitive Edition Remaster versus the Remix Remaster from the early 2000s. And the winner of that shootout, spoiler alert, was the West German Target CD. And that is right here. And I got a comment in the video that said, why don't you compare the CD to vinyl and do another shootout? So we'll call this a showdown video. That original vinyl copy of mine from 1981 versus the winner of the digital shootout, which is the West German Target CD. I thought that's a great idea. Another chance to listen to the album a couple more times. An album I really do enjoy. And yeah, so that's what this video is about. We're going to do a listening test. I have about a 1-minute passage from the opening track, Abacab, for you to compare. Let me talk about how I did the experiment. Just as in the last CD shootout, I used this Tascam digital recorder, which records in stereo. The one difference is, this time I recorded not my ELAC debut stereo speakers, but I actually recorded the headphones. So I put the headphones around the recorder and ran my tests. I recorded these at -40 on both the phono input and the CD input, pulled them into Audacity. I did not normalize the sound, I just trimmed, and then dumped it into my video editing software, Final Cut Pro. And I'm curious to see and hear what you think about this comparison. So let's jump right into the test. If you want to do this as a blind test, you should shut your eyes because I'm going to show you the records as we listen to the test. So here we go, 1, 2, 3, let's do a test. Well, that was 2 different incarnations of the first minute or so of Abacab. What did you think? Which did you prefer? The first was the West German Target CD. The second was this original vinyl from 1981. overall, well, let me just, yeah, I guess I'll put it this way. This is a very punchy album. And I think overall, my impression when I listened to both albums all the way through in the headphones was that the vinyl was a little punchier. It had a little more air and spaciousness to it. I thought it excelled in the low mid-ranges. There were some tracks where I lost the kick drum a little bit on that CD, and then other tracks I could hear the kick drum fine. I thought the bass was fuller on the vinyl, but these are slight differences. I actually was impressed at how well this fared. My other perception was that the vinyl was louder, like fuller, like a sort of more, like a hotter, fuller, deeper presentation than this. But when I looked at the waveforms, when I pulled them into Audacity, I was surprised at how close they were in terms of levels. And so this fared pretty well. But when I was doing my full test, I actually had to dial up the volume on my Marantz for the CD from -40 to around -38 or 37. And that seemed to, this sounded a little bit weaker to me, but not when I did the test. So that's kind of odd. Just thinking of the sort of the airiness, the spaciousness of the sound, I thought this CD, that's what made this a little more special than the other CDs from the first video. And over the course of the album, it started to balance out where I thought this kind of stood up pretty well, but I still give the edge to the vinyl, a slight edge. I don't know if it's a dramatic thing for you, if you have an opinion, like what's the best way to listen to Abacab? Would you prefer to listen to it digitally or on vinyl? I guess for me, it's got to be vinyl, but I'm not getting rid of the CD because this actually comes pretty closer than I thought it would. And but there's just a little something fuller about the presentation on the vinyl that I just missed a little bit when I was doing a CD listen. Your mileage may vary. We all have different ears, different perception, different equipment. So, I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are about this. If you've ever run comparisons, which version of Abacab, if you're a fan of the album, is your go-to? Like, what's your default listening format for it? Let us know in the comments. And if you have thoughts about Abacab itself, about the songs, the style, you're always welcome to comment on that as well, too. Thanks for watching.